Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video, and you join me going through the latest 2020 Audi RS3 images, as you can see on screen, which have recently come out in the last week or so, and I just wanted to go through the images of the RS3 Saloon and the standard RS3 Sportback for you lot to see, and yeah, check out. So yes, welcome back to another video, and yeah, as you can see on screen, straight away, it's all sort of camouflaged, but we know what the Audi S3 Saloon, the Audi S3 looks like, so we kind of have an idea of the A3 platform. But I kind of wanted to go through this to see if there's any sort of telltale signs that we can get from the RS3 from some of these images testing around the Nürburgring. Now, we know it's going to have the same 2.5 litre 5-cylinder engine, which is great news for purists. And the chances are Audi are going to do their own sort of work in terms of making sure the engine is as light as possible and as efficient as possible to meet all the sort of like WLTP compliance regulations. Power-wise, we're thinking its competitor is the 415 brake horsepower A45S, so expect that to be the same kind of power, which isn't a massive hike over the previous RS3. As you can see from these images, actually, sort of zoomed in on the on the brake discs, huge brake discs. There is also no differences between the Saloon and the hatchback, except I believe the Saloon would probably weigh a tiny bit more, but realistically you're getting the same type of car. Yeah, huge brake discs. You know, the weird thing is it's never really been like a car that's really worked hard on sort of like the downforce side of things. It's just a more premium, great sounding, wafting type car. There's no sort of like flicks or canards or sort of like diffusers, you know, anything that's really going to hunker the car down. Certainly from the views that I've seen from these images. And certainly from the back as well, you can see the twin oval exhausts. Obviously, the rest is camouflage, you can't really tell. But yeah, a telltale sign that you've got an RS3 there. And yeah, I've been a big fan of the last one, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one on the road. Going through as well, you can see from the front, I think that image is, you know, I know they've got obviously their camo, and they've got like the radar wouldn't be like that anyway, covering up the Audi badge. But it's definitely a sleeper car. You can make this car to a way that people will just think it's a normal kind of Audi A3, particularly if you shut the exhaust valves. And for reference, it does sound like a 5-cylinder. I've seen, you know, I've watched a video of this going around the Nürburgring. It sounds like a 5-cylinder. It's just toned down a little bit. Interesting to see from the front there the actual cooling. It's amazing how potentially little cooling the car needs, because it looks like certainly some of those vents are certainly fake and covered up from like the honeycomb grille, and the bits at the top aren't. So yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this car, but the subtlety is certainly what brings it out for me, and yeah, it's exciting in that front. Moving on, just some other images of the actual hatchback version of the car. And again, you've got the same type of wheels, same type of brakes, so it's all very like for like, same type of front, there's nothing too much different. It's just a case of obviously it's now in hatchback form. And yeah, leaning quite hard as well on those sort of 19-inch rims. You know, is it going to be a car that you can kind of push? Again, I've seen videos of it kind of drifting out corners. You know, it's a heavy hot hatchback, I suppose, in some ways, but you know, Audi have kind of made great bounds in terms of improving the dynamics of a car. You know, the old sort of 10-15 years ago of them being very nose heavy has kind of gone away a little bit. It's certainly probably not going to be the most dynamic hot hatchback out there in the world. Certainly if you follow my channel, you know, a lighter Golf GTI Club Sport is probably going to be the way to go if you really want the agility of a hot hatchback, just because you save that weight, not having a 4-wheel drive system, just having a 4-cylinder engine. But a great sort of daily car nonetheless. And going through the other images as well, it's quite similar. Expect prices in the UK to be over £50,000. Again, it's competing with the A45S, probably... Hopefully, once spec'd, it's no more than £60,000, but it's an awful lot of money for a hot hatchback. And yeah, as you kind of go through the images, is it worth going for? Well, I think if you want that 5-cylinder Audi badge, quattro system, it almost certainly is. But then you've got to think the old RS3 offers that, and potentially even more noise if you've got a model pre-OPF and yeah, WLTP compliant, all these kind of things, which is about 2018 model. And those, from my experiences of being with them, are just fantastic cars. It sounds like a little supercar in a hot hatch. It's certainly something that I'd love to see in the Mark 8 Golf R, and we can only have our fingers crossed on that one, because certainly that would be a slightly less price point as this, top of the range Audi RS3, with that iconic Audi badge. So yeah, let me know what you think of these images as we've kind of gone through them, sort of ending on a rear quarter version of that. Is it something you'd go for? I think the new Audi A3 in general looks really, really cool. And yeah, this is the top dog that you can get. And seeing those new images of the the A3 saloon kind of got me thinking about it. It's a cool car. It's in the category of what I normally kind of talk about with kind of like the VAG group cars. Yeah, and I thought I'd bring that to you. Yeah, and let me know what you think of it in the comments. And is it something that you'd seriously consider going for? It's so hard to find a really fast, really exciting hot hatchback these days, because I just feel that they're all getting a little bit toned down. But Audi have sort of said, we're going to stick with that 5-cylinder engine. It's got a lot of brake horsepower, if you're talking around the 415 brake horsepower mark, but it's nothing that's going to be like, too much. They'll probably say leave that for the modifiers out there. But yes, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of these images. Let me know if it's something that would appeal to you. The new Audi RS3, expect to see it early sort of 2021. And yeah, more exciting hot hatches to come, really. And yeah, I hope long may it continue, really. But thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you've really enjoyed these images, and I will see you again next time for another video. Cheers, guys.